Good evening and welcome to the 2024 Champions League Final, live on LFS with me, Kevin Ferris. Tonight is the night where history and memories can and will be made. The iconic Wembley Stadium in London, the perfect venue for such a momentous occasion. The club season concludes once again with the biggest game of the season for these two clubs, hoping they can lift this illustrious trophy by the end of tonight. Borussia Dortmund, this season's underdogs, all the way through, have stunned us to get to this position. The only people they haven't stunned are themselves. Their incredible sense of belief and fighting spirit sees them in the Champions League final, trying to right the wrongs of 11 years ago when they were beaten by Bayern Munich in the only all-German Champions League final in history. Coincidentally, it was also held at Wembley. Real Madrid, the kings of the Champions League, come into this one searching for number 15. Extending their record would be a massive achievement for Madrid, considering they were in transition this season. Carlo Ancelotti's tactical genius, mixed with the sensational talent of Jude Bellingham, amongst others, has skyrocketed Real Madrid back to their familiar season ender. Can they add to their already bursting trophy cabinet and making it a 15th win in 18 Champions League finals? Not long to go now before both teams walk out under the infamous Wembley arch and dream of being crowned the champions of Europe. Will the black and yellow conquer, or will Los Blancos climb to victory? A very good evening to you. Welcome to the 2024 Champions League Final here on LFS. Our final game of the domestic season, the club season, comes to an end tonight. Borussia Dortmund in their third Champions League final and Real Madrid in their 18th. A difference in pedigree for how many finals they've been in, but they're in equal position tonight before kick-off. 90 minutes, maybe 120 or even penalties to decide this year's champions of Europe. Well, they've both had big runs to the Wembley final here, of course, this evening, where there's the kickoff show currently underway. Lenny Kravitz doing that in the centre of the Wembley pitch this evening. A new addition to the Champions League final, of course, that kickoff show to get us going and ready and pumped up for the final. Well, the road to the final has been interesting for both of these teams, and as I said in that opener there, about Borussia Dortmund, this season's underdogs, really, in the Champions League. They started in Group F, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. They won Group F. They started on match day 1 with a 2-0 win away in Paris. They drew at home to Milan on match day 2. A defeat away at Newcastle on match day 3 had them on a rocky start to the campaign. 4 points out of their first 6. Newcastle, 4 points out of their first 9. Then they beat Newcastle at home in the return leg on match day 4 before beating Milan in Milan and drawing at home against PSG, topping the group in what was called the Group of Death. Borussia Dortmund conquered and won all out. 11 points for Borussia Dortmund out of a possible 18. They went on to a round of 16 tie with PSV Eindhoven, drawing 1-1 away from home, leaving a dramatic second leg incoming at Signal Iduna Park. 2-0 victory there to see them through 3-1 on aggregate. Atletico Madrid was their next opponents, and they headed away and won away from home against Atletico with a 2-1 lead, and a dramatic, crazy game at the Signal Iduna Park, a 4-2 victory at home to secure a semi-final place where they won 1-0 in both legs against PSG. Their group team that they beat, they beat them in the semi-finals, both occasions 1-0 at home and 1-0 away. For Real Madrid, well, they didn't have an easy run at it either. Group C, they got off to a very difficult start. Union Berlin at home had to win late on, a 1-0 win. 3-2 away at Napoli on match day 2. A 2-1 away at Braga on match day 3 had them winning 3 games by just 1 goal to start the campaign. They won 3-0 at home against Sporting Braga on the match day 4. A 4-2 win at home against Napoli on match day 5 before a 3-2 win away at Union Berlin had them 18 points out of a possible 18 from their Champions League Group C. They got that bye to the round of 16 where they beat RB Leipzig 1-0 away and drew 1-1 at home to narrowly scrape through to the quarterfinals. A quarterfinal that did not disappoint, by the way. A 3-3 draw at home before a 1-1 draw away and winning on penalties at the Etihad Stadium by 4 penalties to 3 at the Etihad, the knockout champions Man City, before overcoming Bayern Munich. A 2-2 draw away before a 2-1 win at home saw them to this stage, their 18th Champions League final. Dortmund just their third. Can they have their ribbons back on that illustrious trophy for only the second time in their history? Dortmund, they were in the last Wembley final at a Wembley final in the Champions League, beaten by Bayern Munich. They want revenge and get revenge for that defeat 11 years ago. But Real Madrid, the serial winners of this competition, 14 times winners, and have won all of the last 8 Champions League finals. They are some opponent to try and overcome tonight. The black and yellow have a tough task, but as we said, they've had a tough task all season. Can they do the business on the big night at Wembley? Kick-off in the 2024 Champions League final is next. Welcome back. The Champions League anthem for the 8th time at Wembley rings around this incredible stadium, who is at capacity tonight and one of Europe's biggest nights of the year. The club competition that is so revered around the world and so illustrious, that trophy that every single footballer dreams of lifting. That magical anthem rung around this wonderful stadium. And that trophy awaits its next owner. Will it be Real Madrid or will it be Borussia Dortmund? To tonight's teams then. And Dortmund as the designated home side, of course, this evening. We start with them. Gregor Kobel starts in goal. Kept a clean sheet in both semi-finals. First leg and second leg winning by 1-0. Julian Ryerson at right back. Mats Hummels, one of only 2 players to have played in the 2013 final in the Dortmund squad tonight, alongside Marco Reus. He starts at centre-back alongside Nico Schlotterbeck. Ian Maatsen at left-back, and an experienced midfield of Emre Can, the captain, Marcel Sabitzer and Julian Brandt in an attacking position. Jadon Sancho, who's had an incredible season and was one of Dortmund's best players over the knockout stages, has reignited his career and he starts at right wing. Karim Adeyemi offers a lot of pace off the left-hand side, and Nicolas Füllkrug, who scored the only goal of the game at Signal Iduna Park against PSG in the semi-final, starts up front for the black and yellow. For Real Madrid, 14 times winners. Carlo Ancelotti delivered this trophy quite a number of times, has won it more than anyone else in Champions League history, the manager, and this club have won it more than anyone else. They start with Thibaut Courtois, who makes his first Champions League appearance of the season tonight after injury. Dani Carvajal will be a record breaker alongside Luka Modric. If they win tonight, Real Madrid, they will become the only 2 players to have won 6 Champions League trophies. They would be joint with only one other player to have won 6 Champions League or European Cup trophies. Carvajal at right back. Antonio Rudiger and Nacho make up the centre-backs. Nacho captains Real Madrid tonight. Ferland Mendy at left-back. Attacking midfield, this is a fantastic midfield, of Fede Valverde, Eduardo Camavinga, Toni Kroos, playing his last 307th and last game for Real Madrid. And the youngster Jude Bellingham awaiting his first, hopefully his first Champions League trophy. And he has Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo ahead of him. Lots of quality on the bench. And incredible quality for the 22 on the pitch. This is the 2024 Champions League Final from Wembley. A very good evening and welcome back to LFS for our final game of the club season. The pinnacle of all club football, the UEFA Champions League Final. The Dortmund players applauding their fans in the far end. They've created a yellow wall of their own here at Wembley tonight. They've been in the stadium for 2.5 hours before kick-off. Commitment from those Borussia Dortmund fans. They don't know when they'll see their side in this showpiece event again, but they want their side to be victorious tonight to cap off a pretty unbelievable season in the Champions League. Real Madrid await, and Real Madrid stand in their way as we get going for the 2024 Champions League Final. Borussia Dortmund of Germany against Real Madrid of Spain. Incredible. We will wait patiently tonight to see what these two sides can deliver. They've entertained us all the way through the season, from the group stages to the knockout stages, from the round of 16, the semi-final, the quarter-final, all the stages so far. They have been fantastic. Although, we've had a bit of a bad moment there because there's a fan on the pitch, which doesn't look good particularly for the security inside Wembley Stadium. The fact that we're inside a minute, haven't played even a minute, and we've already had a pitch invader. Certainly not one for the showpiece event, but we move away from that and we move on. We look at both managers, of course. Edin Terzic, a boyhood Borussia Dortmund fan. Carlo Ancelotti, an absolute gem of a manager, a genius, some would call him. He's an absolute sensation in management. And we do have this stoppage at the moment, which is a bit of a dampener. At the start, there is this stoppage, of course, with the pitch invaders. So it's a disgrace that this type of thing happens in football. It's a disgrace that anybody thinks that they're a hero or a good person for doing such a thing like this, ruining the experience. And rightfully they should be ejected and arrested for disrupting such an event like this. I mean, look at that yellow wall. It is an absolute glorious sight to see inside this absolute wonder of a stadium. Pictures aren't good enough. They don't do it justice how good it is. And those Dortmund fans, this is only the third time that they've experienced this. Their side in a European Cup final or a Champions League final. Won one, lost one. 24 years since they lifted this illustrious trophy. 1990s. The last time that they lifted the European Cup. As we're ready to get back underway then, after that bit of a stoppage for a pitch invasion, about 2 minutes of a stoppage there, but it has all been sorted, and the referee Slavko Vincic can get us back underway then with a Real Madrid throw down the right hand side. And we hope that this will be us continuing for the rest of the game, as Jude Bellingham is fouled there in the middle. It will be a free kick to Real Madrid just around the halfway line. They're not waiting around to take it. Here's Vinicius Jr. Breaks down the left-hand side, gets past Ryerson, and Hummel's covering over, and Sancho tracking back as the ball just went out of play there. And that will get Borussia Dortmund a bit of a throw, as Vinicius Jr. gets the crowd going. Those Real Madrid fans, the Madridistas, inside Wembley this evening, making their voices heard once again, as they always do. They're not uncommon to be in these finals. As I mentioned, 18 Champions League finals now for Real Madrid. Absolutely wonderful. They've lost just 3 of their previous 17. That is sensational. They've won 8 in a row, and they've won 14 in total over the years. The last time they lost a European final was 1983, when Sir Alex Ferguson's Aberdeen beat them in the UEFA Cup back in 1983, 41 years ago. The last time they were beaten in a Champions League final or European Cup final was 1981, when Liverpool beat them in 81, 43 years ago. Real Madrid do not know. The modern Real Madrid fans do not know what losing in a Champions League final feels like. Every time they're in this competition and they're in this stage of the competition, they win it, seemingly. And they have the last 8 times. They've won 8 in a row when they've been in finals. Here's Vinicius Jr. looking to switch the ball out to the right-hand side. Carvajal on the overlap. Cuts it back to Rodrigo. And Carvajal trying to win it back and gets the touch off Maatsen, but Maatsen denies him the corner to clear it away. Up the pitch it goes. Brandt up for the header. Brought down by Maatsen, and that will see it out for Borussia Dortmund. Throw in on the left-hand side. Good battle so far in possession for the two sides. As we go all the way back now to Gregor Kobel, who's made some big saves for Borussia Dortmund. I mean, there was a lot of goal-mouth action for PSG in the semi-finals, but they couldn't find the net in either the first or second leg as they break down the right here. Ball into the box and headed away by Nacho. As Jude Bellingham tries to get Madrid on the front foot, but gives it away. Sabitzer. Nice Sancho. Down the right is Ryerson. And he hits it off Ferland-Mendy and gets Borussia Dortmund a corner. Positive start for the black and yellow. Really good play. And it was Marcel Sabitzer. Just broke free down the right-hand side. He whipped the ball in, headed away. And then they kept the pressure on Borussia Dortmund. Kept the applying pressure on the Real Madrid defence. And great bit of work from Julian Ryerson to win the corner off Ferland-Mendy and give Dortmund a bit of a set piece early doors here. Julian Brandt to take. 6 minutes gone in the final. Brandt, right-footed delivery into the box it goes, headed on and cleared away by Toni Kroos. So, might have been a Mats Hummels header from the corner initially. Cleared away by Toni Kroos, and then Füllkrug had the follow-up, but it was easily caught by Thibaut Courtois. But a positive start for Borussia Dortmund. Give them a bit of confidence. Remember, just pinged the ball out to the left-hand side. Brought down by Vinicius Jr., who's hounded by Ryerson there, and he's done well to win the ball. And Dortmund will win the throw off Marcel Sabitzer. The referee there wagging his finger as Real Madrid thought they had a foul to receive in there, but the referee disagrees. Thought Ryerson won the ball back fairly. That's good to see. The referee's allowing a couple of things to go. Not giving a free kick for everything. The littlest thing. It's a Champions League final after all, as Gregor Kobel tries to clear his lines and he almost gets caught out by Rodrigo, and then Jude Bellingham miskicks his touch and he puts it out for a Borussia Dortmund throw. Nice work by Füllkrug. Gets past Camavinga. Back it comes to Emre Can in midfield, who captains Borussia Dortmund. Has won the Champions League before. Emre Can, of course, off the bench with Liverpool in 2019, but hasn't actually won it while playing on the field, and he would love to do that tonight whilst captaining another European powerhouse in Borussia Dortmund. One of the biggest clubs in Europe, of course. Well, this is the 5th European Cup final between teams from Germany and Spain. Both countries have won 2 apiece. Bayern beat Atletico Madrid in 1974 and Valencia in 2000, and Madrid overcame Eintracht Frankfurt in 1960 and Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. So a win tonight would take them in the lead, either one of the countries. Here's Julian Brandt. Back it comes though to Schlotterbeck. Dortmund have had the better of the possession so far. Been in more control. And so far 9 minutes gone. Real Madrid have tried to apply pressure, but Dortmund have done well at seeing it away. Getting it away from their goal. Not allowing Real Madrid into the final third as much as probably they would have liked. Carlo Ancelotti's side early doors as Dortmund bombing up front, and Füllkrug trying to make a nuisance of himself. Sabitzer was there too, but couldn't control it as Rudiger wins it back for Madrid. Carvajal flicks it or carries it forward, flicked on by Bellingham, but well dealt with by Schlotterbeck at the back. And now Emre Can brought down in the middle, but fairly again. Here's at Camavinga for Real Madrid. Throwing bodies on the line, both teams early doors. Eduardo Camavinga. Back to Nacho. Out to Ferland Mendy. Back to Nacho. All the way back to Thibaut Courtois, who I mentioned in my opener, making his first Champions League appearance this season. Of course, the incredible Andre Lunin. Andre Lunin has done an absolute cracker of a job this season for Real Madrid. In the Champions League quarter-finals against Man City, in the semi-finals, of course, against Bayern, made a couple of big saves. But Thibaut Courtois, most notably, played in Real Madrid's last final in the Champions League in 2022 and made an incredible number of saves against Liverpool on that night to win 1-0. So, in the big moments, Thibaut Courtois has proven that he's very dependable and can win Real Madrid a final. Schlotterbeck under a bit of pressure there by Fede Valverde, and Valverde does incredible there. Closes the space, and Schlotterbeck had no pass and put it out for the throw to Real Madrid. Maybe a nervy moment there for Nico Schlotterbeck. Pounced upon by Real Madrid. Oh, that's good pressure from Adeyemi, forcing Camavinga backwards. Camavinga back to Toni Kroos. Now Bellingham having to come deeper. Back it goes to Antonio Rudiger. To Nacho. Now Mendy. Vinicius Jr. plays it infield to Kroos, who darts one out to the right flank. Nicely taken by Carvajal, brought down by Valverde. Down the right hand side, back to Carvajal. Now Valverde into the box, nice tiki-taka football. Valverde with a shot over the bar. That was really nice combination football by Real Madrid. Intricate passing, one-touch football in between the lines. Carvajal, Valverde and Jude Bellingham all in that intricate space on the right-hand side. And Valverde eventually gets the ball back and has this shot, but cooks it far too much and slices it well over the bar. But it all came out of a Toni Kroos darting ball out to the right-hand side, and it was just wonderful play by Real Madrid, but the finish left a lot to be desired. As Füllkrug tries to use his head to get Dortmund forward, but well recovered by Nacho. Now Eduardo Camavinga looking to get Madrid on the front foot quickly. Through the lines to Bellingham. Out to the left-hand side now comes Vinicius Jr. Got Rodrigo with him, but Jr. wants to go himself and run into three bodies, and recovered easily by Jadon Sancho now. Ryerson, Sancho, just about gets it to Sabitzer. Takes a nice touch. Down the line it goes. Sancho takes it in his stride, and he's fouled quite cynically there by Eduardo Camavinga. It will be a Borussia Dortmund free kick there. It's better from Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid had one or two moments there where they were the better team starting to grow into the game, and Jadon Sancho wins it at the back, tracking backwards, getting the ball back for his team, and then creating that extra body down the right flank. He did so well against PSG, creating that wide area, exploiting that space, and causing a lot of PSG a lot of problems. Here is Jadon Sancho. Bit deeper this time. Back it comes to Hummels. Now to Schlotterbeck. Ooh, Emre Can has to rescue a bit of there from a short pass by Matsens. The ball goes over the top. Füllkrug takes it down. The flag stayed down. It cuts back. Here's Julian Brandt. Hits it wide. Big chance for Brandt in the box. And it's gone wide. Just see it again. It's one ball over the top from Nico Schlotterbeck, and Füllkrug times his run to perfection. Over the top it comes. Takes it down nicely. Reverses it round the corner to Julian Brandt. Gets into the box. He's completely unmarked. He takes a touch with his right. He tries to see it to the far corner, but hits it wide. But that's a huge opportunity early doors for Borussia Dortmund. And all of that one ball over the top. We saw them create such a great amount of chances against PSG by doing that. Exploiting the high line and playing those balls in behind. And again, Fulkrug just giving Real Madrid a bit to worry about. That ball over the top there. Here come Real Madrid themselves now. Here's Jude Bellingham. Down the left. Back it comes to Kroos. He will dart one out to the right-hand side again. A lovely pinpoint cross to Carvajal. Back to Valverde. Now into the box comes Vinicius Jr. over the bar. Starting to find their feet now. Both sides starting to finish off their chances. Create a couple more shots in the game. This one again, it's not one of those classic finishes we've seen from Vinicius Jr. Again, similar to Valverde's a couple of minutes ago, it's just sliced over the bar. There's too much power in it, and they're leaning back and just carrying the ball high and wide. But if they can get that under control, they could have some good opportunities here. Is it? Ooh, ping ball back there by Ferland Mendy. Back to Courtois, who was aware. Took it down nicely. Rudiger to Nacho, and we're starting to open up this game a bit more. Both sides starting to settle, play their game a bit more. As Dortmund pressing high here, and Adeyemi on the press. Courtois had to fire it wide. That's Rudiger. Now Camavinga, a bit unseen there as Nacho clears it up the pitch. Bellingham finds the space, chests it down, and now he tries to get Real Madrid on the front foot. Bellingham striding up the left-hand side, finds Vinicius Jr. And good block there by Mats Hummels, the experienced Dortmund centre-back. Of course, there's been an absolute sensation at the back for Dortmund. Their defence has been incredible. The most clean sheets in the Champions League this season, Dortmund. And he's a big part of that this campaign. Didn't just keep clean sheets, he scored, actually, in the semi-final second leg in Paris to get Borussia Dortmund to this stage. So it's not only helping out at the back, but he's also adding to the goal tally as well. Mats Hummels, of course, one of only two players in the Dortmund squad to have played in the 2013 final and this final. The other, of course, Marco Reus, who will be retiring at the end of the season. Marco Reus buying out, of course, from Borussia Dortmund, and he's on the bench tonight, Reus, but we might see him before the night's out. I'm sure we will see him. One long ball by Schlotterbeck again. Fulkrug had to come a bit deeper that time to bring that one down. Lovely from Sabitzer. Good control. Finds Ryerson down the right-hand side. Uses as much space as he could and tried to find Sancho, but well closed down by Toni Kroos and Ferland Mendy. As Carvajal runs into a bit of trouble, but gets past Adeyemi the second time. Valverde lays it off nicely to Camavinga, who sprays it out to the left-hand side. Rodrigo now brings it down up against Ryerson. Back infield to Bellingham. Good play by Real Madrid. Bellingham, of course, playing in his first Champions League final against his former club, Jude Bellingham. Spent a couple of years at Borussia Dortmund before joining Real Madrid last summer. Has had an unbelievable first season in Madrid, and he's won a free kick there for Los Blancos. And Mats Hummels arguing his case for his side, but Jude Bellingham, left on the floor, probably has a better case to argue. It's fantastic from Vinicius Jr. Flicks it back, and Bellingham outstretching does get the ball, and he's ended up having a bit of contact there with Marcel Sabitzer. So it will be a free kick to Real Madrid. So they've taken short. Madrid, Nacho, Camavinga. Down the right, Fede Valverde. Back to Camavinga. Not in a hurry there, Real Madrid. Toni Kroos plays it forward to Vinicius Jr., who holds off the challenge of Hummels well, and Hummels actually feeds it forward. Nice ball as here come Dortmund. Oh, Brandt tried to squeeze it through past Carvajal to find Adeyemi, but it was closed down, and Dortmund were in a good position there. They had fed that through, they would have been in. Had Karim Adeyemi blocked off. Rodrigo. Bellingham. Back to Nacho. To Rudiger. Kroos. Plays it forward to Bellingham. Now to the left-hand side is Rodrigo. Looking for the space. Rodrigo drifted out to this left. Started on the right. Vinicius Jr. has just drifted into the middle area of the pitch. And Rodrigo's come to the left-hand side for the moment. Here's Valverde. Through the lines to cover the overlapping Carvajal. Carvajal with a cut-back cross. Bellingham couldn't reach it. It was on the edge of the box as Dortmund try and get it away with Sancho now. Sancho, who couldn't get past Mendy, but does get the throw-in out of Mendy there. Again, Dani Carvajal seems to be the main man for Real Madrid at the moment, getting them forward, getting them to good attacking areas. It's down that right-hand side again. Really nice worked ball out to Carvajal on the right flank, overlapping. And he just tries to cut it back into the box, and just too much for Jude Bellingham. It was just behind Bellingham, and he couldn't reach round for it to take it down. There's a lovely ball through. Here's Karim Adeyemi. He's broke around. He's gone round the keeper. He's gone too far. And he's gone out for the corner, I think. What's happened there? I told you about this run in behind for Dortmund again. Just say they break into space and the ball forward. No one spots it but Karim Adeyemi. And the run is sensational. And he just breaks through. He's one-on-one with Thibaut Courtois. Courtois takes him wide. Just too wide. Adeyemi just overruns it. And Carvajal on the cover gets the block in. Puts it behind for the corner. But Real Madrid would have had hearts and mouths there. Corner taken short. Whipped into the box. Courtois couldn't catch it. But he does come grappling for it the second time round. Wow, Borussia Dortmund on the verge of an opening goal there. And probably one of the best opportunities of the game. But not the first time that they've threatened from those balls in behind. And that one was absolutely pitch perfect. Just couldn't find the finish, Adeyemi. Tried to go round Courtois and carried him too wide. Took a heavy touch, and Courtois obviously must have put him off. He dived for the save, Courtois, but Adeyemi got past him and he just took the touch too far wide to try and take advantage of a possible empty net. But Real Madrid maybe saved their blushes there. That would have been a sensational goal if it had found the net. Here's Camavinga. Mendy. Vinicius Jr. does well. Plays it to Rodrigo. Now back out to Vinicius Jr. Nice combination. Vinicius Jr. skips past his man. Lifts it into the box. Maatsen was there to block it away. And Adeyemi now carries Brandt forward. Proper pressure. Chan now finds Marcel Sabitzer in space. He's got Jadon Sancho with him. Sancho down the right hand side as Dortmund flood bodies forward. Here's Sabitzer. Cuts it back into the box. Adeyemi goes down. Referee no pointing at the moment as Real Madrid clear it away. Again, hearts and mouths. Dortmund really feel this and they've won it back again. Here's Maatsen through the lines. Füllkrug! Oh, it's off the post. Cuts it back in. Mendy trying to clear it away. Dortmund have come so close. Time and time again. Real Madrid are clinging on for dear life here. Borussia Dortmund have hit some sort of booster at the moment. They've had 3 goal-mouth chances in the space of a couple of minutes. But they have not been able to convert any of them. And that is so criminal how they haven't found the net. Bitter disbelief. Incredible for Maatsen. Won it back. And Füllkrug made the run. Might have been just offside. It does hit the post. Stretches for it with the left boot. Courtois couldn't reach it. And it just hits the inside of the right post. And you just think it might bounce in. And it bounces across goal. But goodness me. Real Madrid are clinging on here. This is the moment that Real Madrid are, in previous years, have gone on to score right off the back of those types of chances for their opposition. But Carlo Ancelotti will not look to fool anyone. His side really haven't got going in the first 24 minutes. They've had a couple of half chances, but Dortmund by far in the first 24 minutes have had the better of the chances to take the lead. But none of them finding the net so far. Although that's not a good sign. Emre Can has just gone down off the ball, which is a bit of a worry. The Dortmund captain, so just seeing Füllkrug's chance again. That is huge. How close that is. You just can't describe it. It's unbelievable. That opportunity. And Borussia Dortmund. Excruciating that would feel like. How close they've come to an opening goal. So the stoppage here, Emre Can just receiving treatment. It looks around about his left knee, just below his left knee, in and around that area. And he's wincing in a bit of pain. Although he'll not want to come off here, of course. He's back to his feet, so he should be okay to continue, but not just yet, as he'll have to come off for at least 30 seconds. And that yellow wall, Dortmund are attacking that side in the first half, of course. They're attacking, both sides are attacking their fans in the first half. And Dortmund came ever so close to giving their fans the perfect start to the Champions League final. And Emre Can just talking to his manager, Edin Terzic, on the sideline. So Dortmund down to 10 for the moment. He looks fine to continue, Can, and he will come on. His wave back onto the pitch there. Here's Toni Kroos for Real Madrid. If anyone can get Real Madrid going, it's Toni Kroos. Of course, his 307th and final game for Real Madrid tonight. Toni Kroos announced that he would be retiring after the European Championships this summer. An incredible, absolute sensation in the Real Madrid midfield. And he's had an impact. I mean, that midfield that we all remember so gracefully when they won 3 in a row, Real Madrid. Toni Kroos, Luka Modric and Casemiro. One of the most unstoppable midfields in modern football history. Here's Vinicius Jr. Into the box it comes, and Bellingham was there and Rodrigo too, but Schlotterbeck got there ahead of them and cleared it away for Dortmund. That was a good chance by Real Madrid down the left, and Vinicius Jr. takes it down, and the fantastic touch pass Ryerson puts him in a fantastic position. Although here come Dortmund. Here's Julian Brandt. Feeds it in behind. Adeyemi on the run. Adeyemi into the box it comes. Saved by Courtois. And couldn't reach it. I think that was Füllkrug stretching. Goodness me, end to end this. And Adeyemi, that threat in behind again. And the shot saved by Courtois. And then the follow-up. There was a Dortmund player running in last second and he couldn't adjust in time. But goodness me, again, both sides have come very close in the last minute to opening the scoring. Chances galore in this Champions League final. No goals as of yet, but certainly both sides are pushing. And as Umar in the chat says, it's like first team to score wins. Indeed, the last 4 Champions League finals have all ended by 1-0 scorelines. The last time there was more than 1 goal in a Champions League final was 2019. The last time that both teams scored in a Champions League final was 2018, when Real Madrid beat Liverpool 3-1 in Kiev. It's the last time that both Champions League finalists scored in the same final. So goals galore has certainly not been the talk of the town in these last couple of Champions League finals. A lot of chances in those finals, but not many finding the back of the net. Goalkeepers certainly being tested at their top level in the finals, and a lot of them delivering in the showpiece events. Adeyemi helping out Maatsen there, but Carvajal wins the corner now for Real Madrid. Just seen that Adeyemi chance again. Beautiful ball by Julian Brandt. And then Adeyemi carries it wide, takes it with his left. Good save by Courtois, bounces up into the air. And there was a Dortmund player running in for the rebound, and he just couldn't stretch back for it, and Courtois caught it the second time round. But close again for Dortmund. So doing a bit of defending here. Real Madrid with their first corner of the night. Right hand side. Right footed delivery. Into the box it comes. Brandt got the touch in the first front post, and now the counter-attack is on for Dortmund here. Look at the bodies flooding forward. 6 of them. Sancho across to Brandt. Look at the bodies. Adeyemi shoved down. No penalty, says the referee. Waving it away at the first time of asking. And again, that counter-attack is certainly on for Borussia Dortmund. And Adeyemi is causing a problem for Mendy. Just used his body to cut off the Dortmund left winger there, and it's not more than just a bit of a good defensive work. It's not a penalty of any sorts. But I think Borussia Dortmund are in a good position at this moment in time. Although Real Madrid are still creating chances themselves, I would still say Borussia Dortmund are offering a lot in attacking areas here. As Adeyemi wins a free kick. For those of you asking in the chat about team news, here we are. I'll get the lineups for you. There we are. There's the teams. So Kobel in goal for Dortmund. Ryerson, Hummels, Schlotterbeck and Maatsen in defence. Sabitzer and Chan in midfield. Julian Brandt, Adeyemi, Sancho in attacking midfield. And then, of course, Füllkrug leading the line. For Real Madrid, Courtois in goalkeeper, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy in defence, Valverde, Camavinga, Kroos in midfield, Jude Bellingham in a more attacking role in midfield, with Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. leading the line. Just a reminder of the team news there for you, as Dortmund just about keeping it in possession in the middle from Sabitzer. Finds Jadon Sancho, who's taken up a more central position for the moment. No problem, Luis. And Umar as well, who was asking. Sabitzer. Back to Schlotterbeck. And now back to Mats Hummels. Emre Can now to Schlotterbeck. Of course, Nico Schlotterbeck, one of the hot topics in Europe for centre-backs. Young centre-backs, that is, of course. The young German. Played that unbelievable pass in the Champions League semi-final first leg for Dortmund against PSG for Nicolas Füllkrug's goal. That's a nice ball through the middle. Sancho did the work. Finds Ryerson down the right-hand side. Ryerson into the box. Closed down by Mendy. Back to Sancho. Still alive for Dortmund. Sancho couldn't get past two, but Ryerson battles. And he puts the cross in, but the free kick's actually gone the way of Real Madrid here. As Ferland Mendy was fouled in the process there by Ryerson and trying to win the ball back. You just see it, Sancho beaten to it there by Toni Kroos. Incredible work by Kroos to win it back. And then Ryerson just steps across Mendy, but might be a bit soft, that free kick. Umar says, where is Royce? Marco Royce is on the bench tonight for Borussia Dortmund. He is involved, don't worry. He is involved. They wouldn't do that to him. An absolute god at Borussia Dortmund over the last 12 years. Marco Royce joined in 2012. And fulfilled his career with a number of great honours at Borussia Dortmund. Has been captain fantastic many's a time for them over the years. Here's Rodrigo. Valverde down the right hand side. Back it comes. That's a lovely finted ball. Finds Carvajal, but Dani Carvajal took a heavy touch and goes behind for the goal kick to Borussia Dortmund. Nice idea by Valverde. Spotted the underlapping run of Dani Carvajal. Found the space, and the heavy touch by Carvajal took it out for the goal kick. Keep your predictions coming in. Luis says prediction 3-1 to Dortmund. Oh, Gregor Kobel has been fouled here by Vinny Jr. And Vinicius Jr. is going to get a yellow card. I was just looking at the chat while that happened. I looked up as I heard the whistle. And I'll see the replay of this. So Vinicius Jr. gets a yellow card. Schlotterbeck gets it back to Kobel, and Kobel, yeah, I think he's within his rights there. Kobel was playing out from the back, and Vinicius Jr. on the press. He does catch him a bit late. There's not major amounts of contact there, it's minimal, and Kobel, I think, making a bit of a meal of it, but that's the risk of playing out from the back. You're going to be pressed like that. I think Vinicius Jr.'s got a bit of a harsh decision against him there, of getting a yellow card there. Jack says 3-2 Madrid win. Umar says Dortmund 2-0 against Madrid. And Luis says 3-2 for Real. Kobel with a long kick from the free kick. Bouncing ball in behind the Madrid defence, and Mendy kicks it forward, but out for a Borussia Dortmund throw. And Jack says he wants Royce to score. Well, I've seen that on TikTok the last couple of days. There's been those kind of dream score lines that people have been putting on. Dortmund win it in the 96th minute with a Marco Reus goal. I mean, that would be absolutely sensational, but I don't think scripts are written like that, although the Champions League has written some incredible scripts beforehand in finals. I mean, I was watching through, I think one of the broadcasters in the UK did a top 10 Champions League finals programme earlier this afternoon, and just watching back at those finals, I mean, some of the greatest Champions League finals we've ever seen. Absolutely incredible. That yellow wall clapping their side on here. 36.5 minutes gone in the 2024 Champions League Final at Wembley. And it remains goalless between the side that finished 5th in the Bundesliga in Borussia Dortmund and the champions of Spain, Real Madrid. Camavinga. To Rudiger. Back to Nacho. We'll just remind you the stats, the statistics so far. Dortmund have had 7 shots in this first half. Real Madrid just 2 so far. Dortmund have had 2 shots on target. Real Madrid without a shot on target as of yet in this final. Dortmund have missed 2 big chances in the game. They've hit the woodwork once as well. So they've had multiple opportunities here, Borussia Dortmund, considering they've only had 35% of the ball. Real Madrid dominating the possession, but at the moment, Dortmund on that counter-attack are looking the more threatening of the two. Nothing to split them as of yet. And that yellow wall are bouncing in that corner of Wembley. An iconic fan base in an iconic stadium. Nacho, Valverde there. And Carvajal had the last touch as it goes behind for a Dortmund goal kick. Umar says it might go to extra time. Well, there's been 5 Champions League finals or European Cup finals decided in from extra time. Only 1 in the Champions League era. That was Real Madrid against Atletico back in 2014. But there have been more Champions League finals decided on penalties than extra time over the years. A total, listen to this, a total of 11 Champions League or European Cup finals have been decided on penalties over the years. Here's Sancho. Ryerson overlapping. Puts a cross in and Camavinga to clear it out for the throw. I'll be taking out my stats tonight. I love a good stat. I love a good Champions League final stat as well. As Vinicius Jr. felt he was fouled there. And the referee, the officials. Oh, there's a yellow card coming for Schlotterbeck here because he's arguing with the referee. Real Madrid thought there was a free kick in there. I don't think the referee's given it. See it here, Ryerson. Then Hummels. There's nothing in that. I mean, Vinicius Jr.'s dived there. There's no contact whatsoever between him and Mats Hummels. And now Nico Schlotterbeck, for arguing that point because he's not the Dortmund captain, has found himself in the book. So Schlotterbeck in the book. But I don't believe that that was a foul whatsoever on Vinny Jr. He has to watch himself as well. He's on a yellow card himself. If he had got a yellow card for diving there, he would have been off. But he didn't. Because the referee gave the free kick, which I'm a bit surprised at. Because it wasn't a foul. Anyway, Toni Kroos to Rudiger. Back to Toni Kroos. Looking to find Carvajal, but forced it a bit. And now Adeyemi's picked it up. Finds it down the left-hand side. He's Julian Brandt. Bodies flooding forward again for Dortmund. Round the corner it comes. That's a fantastic ball. Finds Sabitzer with a shot. And Courtois dive to his right to save it. And parry it for the corner. Fabulous from Thibaut Courtois. But a wonderful strike by Marcel Sabitzer. Bouncing ball. Looking for the corner. Straight as you like. And Thibaut Courtois got down to his right and parried it well wide. Making sure of anything. Not taking no risks there. The Madrid keeper. Corner for Dortmund. Scored from a corner in the semi-final second leg. Mats Hummels scored that one. Brandt with a corner. Whips it in. Headed away by Real Madrid. Back to Sancho. Chops onto his left. Square it across to Matson. Out to the left it comes to Julian Brandt. Right footed delivery into the box. Away by Camavinga. And out it comes for a Dortmund throw. Real Madrid, I would have to say, if they go in at half-time, 0-0, Real Madrid, I think they would be the happier of the two sides because Dortmund have really pushed massively in this first half for an opening goal. And I wouldn't say they haven't deserved it. Here's Emre Can to Mats Hummels. Back to Can. Sabitzer. Now, Hummels again. Umar says, I thought Courtois was injured. He was injured, but this is his first game in the Champions League this season. His first appearance this season. What a way to kick off the season. Here's Sancho down the right-hand side. Gets it into the box. Too much past Ryerson and no one else could get there. Sabitzer was closest. As Ferland Mendy has it here for Madrid and he wins a free kick. Yes, it is Courtois' first appearance in the Champions League this season. Of course. What a way to make your first appearance of the season in a Champions League final. But as I said earlier, he's a very trustworthy keeper. Made some huge saves in the 2022 final against Liverpool and Paris. He's made some big saves already tonight. As Marcel Sabitzer here has gone into the book as well. Yellow cards the referee's pulling out a couple of yellow cards. It was a foul on Ferland Mendy there from Sabitzer. Just a bit too aggressive according to the referee there, I'm guessing. So Sabitzer's gone into the book as well. That's 3 players booked. Here's Vinicius Jr. down the left-hand side. Fantastic covering by Mats Hummels, who blocks off Vinicius Jr.'s run. And I think he's got a goal kick out of that because he's cheering and Vinicius Jr.'s not particularly happy with the decision. See it again. That's incredible from Mats Hummels. Comes across beautifully. And Vinicius Jr. does have the last touch. Well spotted by the officials. But incredible defending from Mats Hummels. That is sensational. Puts it out for the Dortmund throw. Wonderful. Ryerson fires forward. Couldn't control it there. It was Valverde, brought down by Sabitzer. Now Madsen on the left. Madsen clipped at his heels there. Did Valverde, but coming across with Schlotterbeck, and he's won Dortmund the throw. Seems like Real Madrid, they are testing. They are trying to apply the pressure on Dortmund so far, but each time they do apply pressure, Dortmund have an extra man there, or an extra body, or something there to protect themselves if Real Madrid do try and push for it back. And time again, they just seem to have that safety net there, Dortmund, so far, if Real Madrid do try and win it back, and Real Madrid just can't sustain the possession in the final third at this moment in time. As we're into the last minute of the first 45, we'll see how long we'll be added on to this first half. Of course, I would say a good couple of minutes. We had that pitch invader stoppage in the first minute or two, and then, of course, the injury to Emre Can had us stopped as well for a few moments, so there might be a bit of a extra time, as we've actually confirmed 4 added minutes at the end of the first half then. So I did say there would be a couple of minutes, and 4 it will be. Here's Adeyemi, who's down the left for Dortmund, but run out of room. One back by Carvajal. Has to go back to Rudiger though. Back to Courtois. Now Nacho. Rudiger. To Valverde. Around the corner. It comes. Carvajal. Down the right hand side. Infield to Camavinga. Plays it across to Kroos. Now out to Ferland Mendy on the left. Vinicius Jr. Back to Mendy. Back to Kroos. Real Madrid trying to move it round nicely. Keep the ball moving. Keep the tempo of the game up. Try and move and manoeuvre. Well-structured Dortmund kind of formation out of possession at the moment for Dortmund. They look really strong. Really solid. Real Madrid with their quick passing, trying to move them about. We've seen Dortmund play like this season. In the majority of their Champions League games, they've stayed off the ball. They've not wanted to dominate possession. They've allowed the opposition to have the possession and pounce when it's right for them. Counter-attack and nick the ball when it's the right occasion, but not force the issue. Dortmund, and it's worked for them so far, so why change it? As Julian Brandt's headers just easily recovered by Toni Kroos in midfield for Real Madrid. Now finds Nacho. 2 minutes of the 4 added to go in this first half. Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 0 in the 2024 Champions League Final. Who's Bellingham? Who's gone a bit quiet as of the last few moments, and he's dispossessed well there by Schlotterbeck. Brandt. Nice ball forwards, finds Füllkrug. Gets the runner off him in Sancho. Here's Sancho now. Down the right to Ryerson. Bodies flooding forward again for Dortmund. Ryerson. Sancho with him. Here is Jadon Sancho. Sancho looking for the space. Finds Ryerson. Cannot get any more space to win it, as it's given away by Vinicius Jr. Dortmund have it back again. Maybe Dortmund could have one last flurry in the first half. Schlotterbeck, nice ball. Finds Adeyemi in the box. Karim Adeyemi. Cross comes in, but no one was there to meet it. And it actually goes out for a Dortmund corner because Ferland Mendy controlled it out of possession, or out of play. So it will be a Dortmund corner. Maybe there is one more chance before the half-time whistle for Dortmund. They've had multiple opportunities in this first half to find the net, but haven't found one yet. Haven't converted one yet, shall I say. That yellow wall, that makeshift yellow wall at Wembley. Love to suck that ball into the back of the net. Brandt with a corner. Whipped in again. Headed away, that time by Rudiger. Back it comes to Madsen. Madsen looking for the cutback. Blocked by Bellingham, and out for another Dortmund corner. His former side at the moment. Jude Bellingham. Probably the better of the two teams in this first half. And they're ending it the better as well. Julian Brandt will take this from the left-hand side now for Dortmund. This will be the last opportunity of the half. So we've just surpassed the 4 added minutes. Looking for a header. Brandt with a ball in. The only header that come was a Valverde one. And that's a free kick to Real Madrid in the box. But that is the half-time whistle. So there won't be enough time to take that free kick. And that is half-time in the 2024 Champions League Final. Nothing to separate the two sides. Thibaut Courtois, the busier of the two keepers, kept out a couple of opportunities. Füllkrug's hitting the post, but he might have been offside. Adeyemi's had 1 or 2 chances himself. Dortmund have dominated the final third chances in this first half, but nothing to show for it yet. Half time in the 2024 Champions League Final. It's Borussia Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 0. Analysis on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the 2024 Champions League Final live here on LFS this evening. Great to have you with us. Thanks everybody for joining us this evening here in LFS for our final domestic game of the season, our final club game of the season before, of course, Euro 2024. In 13 days' time, the countdown is on, and we cannot wait to get going on my birthday, Friday the 14th of June, Germany against Scotland here live on LFS. You do not want to miss it, and that is why you should like, subscribe and turn on post notifications, because you do not want to miss our summer we're going to have here on LFS. We have over 40 games from Euro 2024 live here. I'll be commentating the vast majority of them, if not all of them, and we will be having a fantastic time. The festival of football across Europe is back, and Euro 2024 in Germany to see who can be crowned the European champions. At half time, we're 45 minutes away, maybe even longer than that, from figuring out who wants to be the club champions of Europe here this evening. And neither of these two sides finding the net in the first half. Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. Dortmund definitely the better of the chances in that first half. They were sensational in that first half. In the final third, the counter-attacking ability, Dortmund in that first half, was remarkable. The many chances they created. And do get involved in the chat. Anything you would like to say, any questions you would like for me at half time, do get them flooding into the chat. We'll talk about them while I have time here at half time. At the moment, I mentioned, of course, if the game is level after 90 minutes, obviously, as is football commonplace, we will have extra time and penalties. 30 minutes of extra time, 15 each half, and then penalty shootout to decide the winner, if it comes to that. 5 Champions League finals or European Cup finals have been decided in extra time. 11 of them on penalties, of course. So you never know. You never know. Umar says in the chat, do you guys think Bellingham can win the Ballon d'Or? Well, he's a real shout for it. I mean, one of the best players in Europe this season has been Jude Bellingham. I mean, Harry Kane's been excellent in Germany, but of course didn't win the league, didn't win any trophies with Bayern this season, so maybe that'll go against him, with the fact that Real Madrid have won La Liga in a potentially kind of transitional season for Real Madrid, you know, trying to build back after losing a couple of experienced heads last season. Bringing in Jude Bellingham has kind of softened the blow a lot for Real Madrid this season, and picking up a La Liga trophy will help them on the way. I do think Bellingham could have a shout for the Ballon d'Or this season. You know, he's got the Euros coming up. If he wins this and La Liga, and England do very well in the Euros, maybe a final, or even win the competition, England, Jude Bellingham would be the favourite to win the Ballon d'Or. He would be. You know, because he starred in 3 incredible moments in the season. You know, we talked about why Lionel Messi won it after he won the World Cup, of course. done well in the Champions League with PSG, and of course won the league with PSG. Different result, but he won the World Cup. The Euros would give you a big boost. I do think Bellingham could have a good shout at the Ballon d'Or. If he wins the Champions League and does well in the Euros, he could be in with a very good shout of it. Missy says Dortmund's stamina in the second half is going to be drained. Well, that will be the big test, whether Dortmund can. You know, they've put in a lot of energy in this first half, and it's been mostly off the ball, really. You know, I mean, I've talked about Dortmund's shots they've had and the attacking chances they've had, but they've only had 36% of possession. So the majority of the time in that first half, they've been off the ball, they've been out of possession, they've been kind of shuffling from side to side, making sure that Real Madrid don't get into good areas. So far, I think they've done a pretty good job. I don't think their stamina would have been massively tested. I mean, counter-attacking is going to test your kind of stamina a bit more, because you're constantly making those gut-busting runs. You're not kind of in constant possession, which would help as well, be in control of the game. But I don't think Dortmund would be massively kind of tired after that first half. I don't think they've been run ragged with Real Madrid having the majority of the possession. I don't think Dortmund have been run ragged out of defence, or out of possession, sorry. I think they've dealt with it pretty well. They've got the ball out of play a couple of times. They've kind of shielded Real Madrid in majority of areas. They've not really get into the final third massive amount, Real Madrid, in that first half. That'll be a disappointment that Carlo Ancelotti surely will recognise and will try and fix for the second half. But if Dortmund defend the way they have in the first half and the way they've been defending in the last all season in the Champions League, I mean, they've been incredible, the most clean sheets of any side in the Champions League this season. If they continue with that strong defensive structure, they could nick a goal on the counter-attack and could win this by the narrow scoreline. You know, it's happened before. You know, you can see it, and you never know. But the amount of chances they've had in that first half, I mean, Nicholas Füllkrug had one hit the post, Adeyemi went wide of Courtois, Adeyemi had another one where he had it saved, and then Füllkrug was coming in, and the Courtois save actually helps him out, because Füllkrug was actually stretching to get the header on it from the Adeyemi chance, and that couldn't find the net. You know, they've had really good opportunities in that first half. I mean, Sabitz's one that was saved as well for the corner, the long-range effort. So Dortmund have had ample opportunity to score, and it will be agonisingly painful that they haven't scored in that first half. And I said about 10 minutes before half-time, I said, if Real Madrid go in at half-time, 0-0, they'll be the happier of the two sides, because Dortmund have deservedly had better the chances, and they probably deserve to have a narrow lead at the very least. They've deserved to score a goal in the first half, Dortmund, but they haven't. And Real Madrid will be the happier of the two sides because of that. And I would believe that, you know, Real Madrid have that mentality. They know they weren't the best in that first half. They know they've got a lot of improvement to do. Vinicius Junior's looked really exciting on the ball for them tonight. He's been creating most of their chances. He's looked the more kind of aggressive, the most aggressive of the Real Madrid players tonight. So maybe he could create something. Bellingham's gone a bit quiet towards the middle section of the first half. He started well and he's ended the half well, but in the middle area he kind of went a bit missing. That's not by any fault of his own. It's the fact that Real Madrid couldn't find him in the central areas. But again, the best players find the space, so that'll be the task for Jude Bellingham. If he can't be found in his normal position, adjust, move. You have the freedom to move, find the gaps, find the space, and try and carve Dortmund open. But a very resilient and very well structured defence at the moment are holding firm and denying Real Madrid any real massive goal scoring chances. Dortmund definitely the better side, but nothing to show for it yet in that first half. 6 minutes to go then before the second half gets underway. Umar says Gyökeres has been underrated this season. He's got 50 goals and assists. Incredible. Talk about Harry Kane with 40 odd goals. Gyökeres another who's finding the net and also helping out his side this season. I mean, Jude Bellingham's done that in abundance this season. I mean, we talk about impact for a player, and you know, joining a club with the stature of Real Madrid. But the way he's turned up has been fantastic. In his 11, including this final, his 10 previous Champions League appearances this season, he started all 10. He scored 4 goals, 4 assists this season in the Champions League. In La Liga, over 28 starts, or 27 starts, 28 appearances, 19 goals and 6 assists for Jude Bellingham. this season. That's incredible. 25 goal involvements in the league this season. In the league, in the Champions League, it would be 33 goal involvements for Jude Bellingham. Anyway, moving on, because we need to talk about someone else. I don't want to be rattling on about Jude Bellingham all night, but he is one of the mainstays and one of the big players, of course, this season. I'm going to talk about Dortmund for a moment. I looked at the stats, and I looked at kind of I looked at the records against clubs from the opposing country. So Dortmund against Spanish clubs and Real Madrid against German clubs. Dortmund have won 12, drawn 12, and lost 14 games against Spanish clubs over the years. Real Madrid against German clubs won 41. Listen to that. 41, drawn 16, and lost 24 over the years. Incredible from Real Madrid. They've already faced 3 German clubs this season at Madrid, of course. Union Berlin in the group stages, in Group C, which they won. They won both games against Union. Jude Bellingham scored in the 94th minute in the first match day at home, of course, to beat Union. And Ceballos, 89th minute winner in a 3-2 victory in Germany against Union. In the round of 16 against RB Leipzig as well, and of course in the semi-finals against Bayern Munich. Joselu, of course, with those 2 late goals in the 88th minute and the 91st minutes, engineering a remarkable comeback once again for Real Madrid. So they've already faced German opposition multiple times this season. Spanish teams for Borussia Dortmund, they've already faced Spanish opposition this season as well, just the once. Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals, of course, winning 2-1 away and 4-2 at home. The second leg victory against Atletico is only Dortmund's 4th win in the last 14 matches against La Liga clubs, home and away. And Dortmund are in the UCL for the 18th time overall this evening. 8th successive season, and they've reached the knockout stages in the Champions League 9 of the last 11 campaigns. Of course, Real Madrid have got to the knockout stages a multiple amount of times as well. They've won their group 20 times, and they've qualified in the last 28 campaigns. That's a competition record with Barcelona. The last time Real Madrid failed to qualify for the Champions League was in 1996-97. There we are. Quick running of stats for you at half time. Sancho says, Umar says, Sancho humbled Ten Hag. Sancho lighting up the show in Dortmund, of course, in Dortmund colours. You know, we talked about it before, and I've mentioned it before. You know, when you go to a club, the likes of Manchester United, I mean, they're not at their best at the moment, but the club stature's still there. Maybe it just doesn't suit you. Some clubs just don't suit a player. Dortmund seems to get Jadon Sancho. He seems to get the club. He seems to get the fans. He loves playing football for Borussia Dortmund. Maybe it just works for him. It could be as simple as that. And maybe Sancho wasn't the best buy for Manchester United. It's not uncommon that we've said that Man United's recruitment hasn't been at their best. It's not the fact that he's not a good player. He's a fantastic player. Maybe he just wasn't the right fit for Man United at the time. And Dortmund, maybe more settled, more in control, a much better organisation at the moment, could be better for him. Maybe that's why he's performing better. Who knows? But Sancho definitely incredible at Dortmund this season. Umar says Sancho joined United at the wrong time. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe it was just the wrong time for him to join a club unsettled, not in the right mood, not at their best, not performing, not consistent. You know, maybe that's just not what a player wants. Maybe Jadon Sancho works better with a settled side. A settled club, knows what their opposition or their kind of ambitions are, and he's not left in the dark at times. Who knows? We will see. The second half for the 2024 Champions League Final, that half-time flew by. Just a minute to go before the second half gets underway as Carlo Ancelotti walks out onto the out of the tunnel at Wembley, and the pitch will be full of the players very shortly, and we will talk about the second half, which is on the way in just a moment. Do stay with us here in LFS. welcome back to the 2024 Champions League Final here on LFS. This evening you join us as we're getting ready for the second half to get underway. Great to have you with us this evening here on LFS with me, Kevin Ferris. Great to have you with us on our final club game of the season to round off 23-24 campaign. And it would be a fantastic way for Borussia Dortmund to win that campaign after a underwhelming league season, finishing 5th, but it's been an absolutely sensational Champions League campaign for them. Only their 3rd European Cup final and their first in 11 years after they last visited here at Wembley in 2013. Jude Bellingham there, just having a chat with Camavinga as we get ready for the second half. Both sides defending their own fans in the second half, of course. So, attacking the opposite set of fans are the two clubs in the second 45. And certainly a second half where Real Madrid can only improve. Certainly not at their best in that first half. And Dortmund trying to exploit that as much as they could. Couldn't find the net though, which will be a disappointment for Dortmund. They know they've still got that threat where they can test Real Madrid as we get back underway for the second 45 here at Wembley to round off the 23-24 campaign. Real Madrid looking for number 15. Dortmund looking for just their 2nd Champions League or European Cup title in their history. Sancho through the lines, couldn't find Brandt, overrun it there as Rodrigo was closed down. Good work by Vinicius Jr. though to hold it up. Finds Valverde. And you feel Real Madrid would need a quick start here, a positive start to the second half to get them up and going. And their experienced players, the likes of a Toni Kroos, a Dani Carvajal, Nacho, etc. Those experienced players trying to get them G'd up. Here's Dani Carvajal on the right. Back to Valverde. Valverde with a cross and easily cleared away by Schlotterbeck, and Brandt getting Dortmund on the front foot. Fulkrug to Matson. Down the line to Adeyemi. He's broke free here, Adeyemi. Gets past Valverde. Brandt lays it off now to Sabitzer. Round the corner looking for Sancho. And Sancho will keep it in on the right hand side. Finds Reerson. Reerson with a run. Looking for the cross. Gets a deflection. Will be a Borussia Dortmund corner. Jude Bellingham there to having track back against Julian Ryerson. And another good run and another corner for Dortmund. They ended the half with a corner and they start the first couple of minutes of the second half with a corner. The black and yellow. There's Hummels lurking. Schlotterbeck there as well. Got a lot of height in there, Dortmund. Brandt to deliver. Right-footed into the box it comes. Headed away at the front post. And now Vinicius Jr. trying to conjure up a counter. Here he comes. He's on his own here. Dortmund getting bodies back, but not many Real Madrid bodies flooding forward. Here's Vinicius Jr. trying to squeeze his way through. Down the left as Dortmund get lots of bodies back, but the one body that does make contact with Vinicius Jr. is Mats Hummels, and he gives away a free kick. That's surely what Vinicius Jr. was waiting for there. He knew he was not going to get a pass off. Just waiting for the contact, and Mats Hummels duly delivered and gave him a free kick. Bit of a cheap free kick to give away there for Mats Hummels. I'm sure he'd be disappointed by giving that one away. A chance for Real Madrid from a set piece here. 3 minutes of the second half gone. Real Madrid, first chance of the second half to whip the ball in, get it into a good area. Toni Kroos is over it. Gregor Kobel setting his team up on this free kick. Foggy atmosphere on this side of the pitch. Toni Kroos over this free kick. Right-footed delivery and big save by Gregor Kobel to parry it wide for the corner. That was some save. Full stretch by Kubel, and Kroos trying to find the top left corner. And he was not too far away, Toni Kroos. He'll get the corner though. Right-footed delivery, into the box it comes. Headed on and over the bar by Carvajal. Good opportunities in quick succession there for Real Madrid, but neither of them finding a way into the Dortmund net. Lovely cross, fizzed in along the front post, and Carvajal flicked it on, but just flicked it over the bar. Close, but no cigar there for Dani Carvajal. Carlo Ancelotti there. Cool as you like. I mean, he doesn't change. I think in one of my commentaries this season I said, does Carlo Ancelotti not change his facial expressions? He doesn't. He's cool, calm and collected no matter what's happening in the game. That's maybe why he wins so much. He's always composed. He knows what to do next. He always has the answer. Here's Nico Schlotterbeck. Maatsen, who's drifted into midfield at the moment. Ian Maatsen plays it out to Ryerson. Back to Sancho. To Sabitzer. Looks like Maatsen's taking up that auxiliary role. Here's Fulkrug. Gets the play off. Finds Maatsen, who has the shot. Took a deflection. Will be a corner. Mishi says Ancelotti looks like Angry Birds. Goodness me. I can see what you mean though. Dortmund corner, left hand side. Julian Brandt at sick. 5 minutes gone in the second half here at Wembley in this final. 5 Dortmund bodies in the box, all around about the back post. Taking it short this time. Brandt gets another ball in. Headed away by Camavinga. It was Maatsen he was linking up with. Maatsen beaten there. As Carvajal plays it in field, but gives it straight back to Dortmund. That diagonal cut out by Emre Can. Ryerson now at the back. Schlotterbeck. Long diagonal, out to the right. Here's Ryerson, up the right-hand side. Ball comes in and goes out for a corner. Deflected off Ferland-Mendy. Dortmund using their width quite well in the start of the second half. Getting a couple of corners. Sustaining that pressure on Real Madrid. That's what they need to be doing. It does carry the clock forward. Keeps the pressure off your own defence if you're up the other side of the pitch all the time. Here's Julian Brandt to take another corner. Right-footed. Whipped in. And it comes, first header. Hummels, but couldn't direct it towards goal. And then Schlotterbeck tried to shield it there to get another corner, but goes out for the goal kick. Dortmund battling on that right-hand side, and they've won the ball again, won another throw-in. Real Madrid really have no way out at this moment in time. It's fantastic from Dortmund. How they're delivering in those areas at this moment. Here's Emre Can. Hummels through the lines, finds Sancho down the right, and Sancho had nowhere else to go, but does win the throw-in. Once again. You need a bright spark here, Madrid. At the moment, they just look like they've lost their energy a bit. Lacked motivation. Here's Adeyemi. Or innovation, sorry, I meant. As Adeyemi closed down, and Camavinga trying to break forward, but well marshalled and physically marshalled, and Camavinga a bit frustrated that he didn't get a free kick there, but strong work from Borussia Dortmund to win it back. Here's Maatsen. Can to Sabitzer. And Hummels back to Köbel. Schlotterbeck to Can, who was closed down there by Rodrigo, sorry. Wrong number. And it goes out for a Dortmund throw. I think Real Madrid really still struggling in that central area. They just can't get out of the closed-in space that they're in at this moment in time. Switch ball out there, a bit wasteful that time by Dortmund. Ryerson thanks his teammate for the cross, but couldn't find him. Well, there's one of their managers, the manager that took them. It was Wembley defeat the last time he was in charge, Jurgen Klopp of Borussia Dortmund. He's involved in watching on tonight. That's his big involvement. Watching on as a fan of his former club. He delivered a league title with. Quite a lot more. DFB Pokal Cup as well. With Dortmund to Jurgen Klopp, but couldn't give them the Champions League. When he was here in 2013, they lost that time to Bayern Munich in the only all-German final ever in Champions League history. Which, when I read that, it was actually quite remarkable. The fact that it has only been one all-German Champions League final. But here's Vinny Jr. down the left-hand side for Real Madrid, looking for the whip the ball in. Takes a long cross. Does find its way to Rodrigo down the right-hand side. Back to Carvajal. Now Camavinga. Lots of bodies flying everywhere. Camavinga keeps it in possession as there's a Real Madrid player down. They will keep playing, although the referee's just stopped it here. Carvajal was the one that went down. And the referee is coming over to check if the veteran defender is okay. Just a bit of collision with Karim Adeyemi. Again, it's not foul, but it's very physical from Karim Adeyemi. That's what happens. Well, I mentioned about that final for Dortmund, of course, in the 2012-13 season. Bayern won by 2-1 on that occasion. Of course, it's the, as I said, the only all-German final ever. Here's Rodrigo. Valverde, Real Madrid maybe starting to conjure up a couple more chances in the last moments. It's Rodrigo's ball into the box. It comes! Flicks on, Carvajal! Oh, almost squeezing past Köbel. Carvajal was there. I think Madsen was involved as well. Schlotterbeck couldn't win the header. It was good work to recycle the ball in the middle. And then Carvajal arriving off the right-hand side, strikes through it, and he just couldn't find the power behind it. And Gregor Köbel gathers well, but good chance for Real Madrid there. But a chance not finding the net once again. 57 minutes of this 2024 Champions League final is gone. And around 33 or so of normal time to go. Long, long time for either of these sides to find the net. It's a long, long time for more than one goal to be scored, certainly. Whether there will be or not, we don't know. We will surely see, and we hope that we'll get a good bit of a goal-scoring flurry to the end of this already exciting Champions League final. Schlotterbeck going for the long one to relieve the pressure. Adeyemi on the run, but couldn't keep it in possession there, Adeyemi. Nice idea by Schlotterbeck, but couldn't find Adeyemi couldn't bring it down there and couldn't allow Dortmund out. But that's the idea. Those long balls have been really threatening from Nico Schlotterbeck up to this point so far. That one, his recipient couldn't control it. As Emre Can there in with the battle. Puts it out for a Real Madrid throw on the right hand side. Through the lines it comes. Kroos. Bellingham has to go backwards again to Valverde. Nacho. Out wide on the left is Ferland Mendy. Inside his own half though. Back to Nacho, and the control from Dortmund in terms of out of possession. I said it in the first half. They look really strong. Impenetrable, but fantastic. But so far, even in the second half, they've continued in that same vein. They've closed the spaces, not allowing Real Madrid the freedom of that midfield area, really closing down the space as well. That's a nice idea by Carvajal, but Rodrigo getting his feet in a bit of a muddle, and the ball goes out for a Dortmund throw. I think the benches might be called into action soon enough. Could be a bit of involvement needed, maybe an extra burst of energy in the latter stages to add to this. Both sides have had more of the ball, not as much in the final third in the last 5-10 minutes. That's really good from Ryerson though. Breaks past his man, still going down the right hand side, and he'll win the throw in off Mendy. Does Ryerson. Fantastic work. Such a tight space to control the ball. A yard out, less than a yard from the sideline, and he controls it really well and gets Dortmund up the pitch fantastically. Here's Schlotterbeck. Finds Julian Brandt. Out to the left-hand side is Madsen. Bodies in the box for Dortmund. Madsen. Back to Brandt. Now Emre Can. Not looking to go for the diagonal that time. Back it comes. Schlotterbeck to Julian Brandt on the left. The overlapping Madsen. Madsen with a cross in. Rudiger doesn't get a convincing clearance on that one. Adeyemi brings it back down. Brandt. Nice Schlotterbeck. Dortmund toying with Real Madrid at the moment in and around the 18-yard box. Waiting for their moment to pounce. As they're pushed back a bit there to Schlotterbeck. Dortmund retaining the ball. As there's a stoppage here. Carvajal tried to flick it back, and then Madsen just flicks it out of play. Carvajal in a bit of a muddle there, almost gifting Dortmund the ball, but Madsen couldn't do much with it and gives Real Madrid the goal kick. Although that's a poor pass out from the back, and Adeyemi there had a bit of a collision. But Real Madrid coming forward. The referee's allowed play to continue. Just a few bits of poor quality there in the last few moments. Both sides maybe just trying to be a bit too skillful and wasteful opportunities. But Jude Bellingham, I'm not blaming him, but Real Madrid do not look cohesive whatsoever at this moment in time. They're struggling to sustain momentum, to stay kind of sharpness. They look like they haven't played in a few weeks. Real Madrid, they look off the boil a bit here, really. Need to get it going, otherwise they might lose this final. Here comes Adeyemi. Bodies in the box. Adeyemi across the header. Saved by Courtois, who punches it away. Goodness me. It was fantastic from Dortmund again. Just couldn't find the net though. And Courtois got the save that he had to make. And he did make it. Again, more and more chances coming the way of Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid back on the ball. According to the stats, Dortmund have had more possession in the second half. They've been more kind of adventurous on the ball and wanted to control the ball maybe a bit more, Dortmund, in the second half. They have done so. 56% possession from the first 18 minutes of the second half, in comparison to only 36% possession in the whole of the first half. So Real Madrid's control in possession has decreased. Your local trash snatcher, wow. Imagine Royce comes in and scores the winner. Well, it will be the fairy tale ending Although here comes Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid into the box over the cutback, and great covering there by Ryerson. Puts it behind for the Real Madrid corner. See this again, the Dortmund chance. Incredible cross by Adeyemi, and diving on it was Füllkrug with a header. And Courtois made a big save, denying Dortmund the opener. Real Madrid have a corner, left-hand side. Toni Kroos to deliver. Kroos with the ball in. Headed up into the air. Not cleared away by Dortmund. Still alive. They knew now clear it. And brought down by Brandt. Can he get them on the counter? Adeyemi's charging forward, but the ball will just run out of play. And out for a Real Madrid throw inside the Real Madrid half there. Well, Real Madrid, certainly, the first half they were second best, and so far in the first 20 minutes of the second, I don't think they've been much better, really. Mostly from corners where they've looked threatening. Set pieces, here's Rodrigo though. Does well, gets around his man, but Schlotterbeck puts it out for the corner. Good covering by Nico Schlotterbeck. 25 of the 90 to go. Still goalless here at Wembley between Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. LAS Shea says 1-0 Dortmund, so some people at this moment in time predicting that Dortmund might nick this with the form that Real Madrid are on in this game so far, but you never know. They do have a corner, right hand side, Los Blancos. Kroos to take, right footed delivery, into the box it comes. Headed away, stripped back the way it came. Kroos will deliver again, whips it in again. Header and on and wide. It was Vinny Jr. that had the header, and he headed it wide. Quite a distance wide as well. Another shot of Carlo Ancelotti. In deep conversation with his assistants, but what would he be thinking? What will he be plotting on the sidelines to try and get Real Madrid over the line? Good work by Adeyemi, brings the ball down on the left, has time and space to roam, and gets forward. Look at this run. Here's Adeyemi. Couldn't get past Rudiger. Fantastic strong defending by Antonio Rudiger. And wins it back for Madrid. Here's Camavinga. Down the left comes Vinicius Jr. Finds Bellingham. But Schlotterbeck got there ahead of him and blocked it out off Bellingham. Starting to try and test a few more things now, Real Madrid. But Dortmund again, I said it in the first half, they seem to have that safety net. When Real Madrid do play a dangerous pass, they seem to, if they beat the first man, there's a second man there right back to try and win it back. And it was the same thing there again. You know, Vinicius Jr. got past his man, but again the ball into Bellingham, and there was another man in cover, got there ahead of him, Schlotterbeck, and wins the throw-in for Dortmund. They seem to have that safety net. They always have cover, they always have control, and they always have an extra man in and around where the ball is to try and give them that slight advantage to win the ball back time and time again, and it's worked so far. And so there's a Dortmund player down there. He's back to his feet quickly. I think it was Füllkrug there. Bit of a collision, but he's okay to continue. Here's Nacho. Kroos. Real Madrid played around the back. Rudiger. To Toni Kroos. Valverde. Bellingham now down the right is Carvajal. Back to Valverde. Camavinga. Again, Dortmund seem to have the control in that central area. Even Bellingham's forced wide, and Camavinga's not been able to get on the ball in those central areas to conjure up a chance. Although they find a lovely ball forward there to Rodrigo. Brings it down, finds Bellingham. Bellingham in the box, cross! Cleared away by Hummels. Yellow shirts getting in the way and blocking it off. Starting to find a few more gaps now, Real Madrid. Bellingham and Rodrigo, and I think it was Vinicius Jr. as well getting involved as they keep the ball coming forward now, Madrid. Here's Vinicius Jr. Lifts it into the box, and in it comes, and oh my goodness me, Jude Bellingham was so close there. He had Kobel absolutely heart and mouth there, and it just goes wide. Vinicius Jr. with a cross of pure delight comes flying in, and Bellingham makes the run. Bellingham just trying to reach for it, and it skims off the head of Jude Bellingham. So close. And I think it just skimmed over his head. I don't think it touched him whatsoever. And it had Coble scrambling, but any sort of touch there from Bellingham, and that would have been 1-0, but that is so agonisingly close for Madrid. Here comes Adeyemi for Dortmund. Down the left. Dortmund trying to respond quickly. Here's Sancho now. Breaks down the left himself. Trying to offer a different test to the Real Madrid defence. Brandt. Now Chan. Chops round his man and gives it out to the right hand side to find Julian Ryerson. His body's in the box for Dortmund. They're not willing to cross it early, Dortmund, at the moment. Looking to get the ball forward into those attacking into the final third before they deep whip across in. Here's Ryerson on the right. Chan pressed upon by Vinicius Jr., but Emre Can rides it well. Keeps the possession for Dortmund. 20 minutes to go of the 90 in the 2024 Champions League Final. We're nowhere near closer than we were 70 minutes ago to figuring out who will be champions, but this game has certainly shown excitement, and Dortmund arguably the better side, but that's the way of it in a Champions League final. You can create multiple chances, but if you don't find the nets, you're under major threat of being punished. Coble with a long ball. Füllkrug won the header, and he was pushed in the back there by Nacho. So it will be a free kick to Borussia Dortmund as they're readying a change. And someone said it, and I think Edin Terzic heard you. Marco Reus is coming on. The fairy tale could be written. Nicholas Füllkrug landed a bit awkwardly there when he won the free kick. I think he stayed down, which might be a slight worry, but Marco Reus, the only man other than Mats Hummels to play 90 minutes in the 2013 Champions League Final here. He experienced defeat on that occasion, Reus. He would love to get his revenge. And Karim Adeyemi is going to be the substitution, so Adeyemi's coming off. Marco Reus is coming on to a rapturous applause from the yellow wall inside Wembley. Marco Reus, a stalwart of Borussia Dortmund, 35 years old, turned 35 yesterday, did Reus, and he's been an absolute sensation over the years, and it might be written in the stars, who knows. That fairy tale is certainly able to be written now, but here comes Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid. He's been their most threatening player all night. Ryerson, he got past him there, but Mats Hummels knocking it out for the corner. Helping his teammate there, Hummels, after Ryerson got beaten past by Vinicius Jr. That's incredible skill to drag it back and commit to get the nutmeg in the process. That's sensational. And he smiles there. He wanted to do a bit more, but he does get the corner out of Vinicius Jr. Corner comes in. Again, first header won by Dortmund, and they try and get it away, but Sancho replies the pressure, and the strike from distance will be deflected behind for another Real Madrid corner. Matson this time with the deflection. So keeps the pressure on the Dortmund defence. Toni Kroos would love a fairy tale ending of his own. Whips another corner in, headed on and in! Dani Carvajal for Real Madrid. A fairy tale in Wembley. Toni Kroos with a delivery, and Dani Carvajal with the header that could deliver a 15th Champions League title for Real Madrid. The Madridistas have gone wild, and rightfully so. The set piece delivers for Real Madrid. They never know how to be beaten in this competition. And Dani Carvajal, who could be a record breaker tonight, could be the man that delivers number 15 for Real Madrid. What a header from the front post. Glances across. Well beaten by Gregor Kobel. No one can get anywhere near him. Free header. And a fantastic header that finds the back of the nets. Borussia Dortmund 0. Real Madrid 1. Dortmund have had the better chances. They couldn't find the net. But Real Madrid always have someone who pops up and delivers in the big moments. And Dani Carvajal could be Real Madrid's hero in the Champions League final. Wow. Just wow. Carvajal could be a record breaker tonight. He could join, him and Luka Modric could be the only two players in the Champions League era to win 6 Champions League trophies. Only one player in European Cup history has won it 6 times. Carvajal and Modric could join him, but they would be the only two in Champions League era that would win 6. And he could have gifted it for them in the latter stages. The last time that Real Madrid lost the Champions League final, 1981. And that looks to be extending again. For a long while in this game, the hopes and dreams were probably more Dortmund's than anything, with the chances they created. But it's all about delivering. It's all about being clinical and finishing off your big chances in a final. And Dani Carvajal could have just done that for Real Madrid. 15 minutes to go, and Real Madrid could be on the verge of a 15th, a record extending 15th Champions League trophy. And they don't want to give up yet, because they want to come forward again. It's Camavinga. Now gives it out to Rodrigo. Vinicius Jr. now. Blocked off by Ryerson, but gets it back to Bellingham. Playing with a bit more swagger now, Real Madrid. Here's Valverde. Out to the right-hand side. Finds Rodrigo. A second would surely do it all. Round it all off for Madrid. But nothing in Champions League football has ever been like that. It's never been as easy as that. And this game has not been easy, far from easy for Real Madrid, let's be honest. Here comes Camavinga, cuts it back into the box. Jude Bellingham hits it wide. Oh my goodness me, that would have been the winner. That would have been it. That really would have put the final nail in the Dortmund coffin, really. But Jude Bellingham, from around about 10 yards, has his shot deflected wide by Nico Schlotterbeck. That's incredible defending, by the way, but so agonisingly close for Jude Bellingham. And that's some bit of defending by Schlotterbeck. He knows if he doesn't get that, could have been 2-0 and that would be game over. But he keeps his side clinging on for the moment. Kroos with a corner. Whipped in again. Dortmund headed away. Now Brandt trying to get them forward, but no way out for the black and yellow at the moment. Here comes Bellingham. Trying to spin his way around a few, but is dispossessed as Brandt carries Dortmund forward, using his skill. But again, a fantastic challenge by Real Madrid to win it back. Here's Camavinga now. In space, Madrid flooding forward. Camavinga chops his way across, taken out there by Mats Hummels. It will be a free kick to Real Madrid in a very good area. And a yellow card will come the way of the Dortmund defender Mats Hummels. Yeah, he comes sliding across. Camavinga was well away. The ball was well away. And Mats Hummels rightfully yellow carded there for that late challenge. Both Dortmund centre-backs now booked. Hummels and Schlotterbeck. And a free kick from about 22 yards, 23, maybe 24 yards actually. Bit to the left of the D. So a bit of a left angle on it. Kroos and Vinicius Jr. amongst the players around it. Ready to take it. Over 86,000 inside Wembley this evening witnessing this. And this could be another huge moment. Toni Kroos over the free kick. He's got an assist tonight. He might want to add a goal to that. Toni Kroos. Right footed. And Cobble with a save. That would have been an absolute wonder of a goal. He's almost scored one already tonight to Toni Kroos. That one did find its way past the wall over the head of Marco Reus and couldn't find his way past Gregor Kobel, who was diving to his right to save. As Dortmund are ready to make double changes then. 2 attacking changes. So Daniel Malen has come on. Emre Can replaced there. So Malen on and Can off. And Julian Brandt off. And Sebastian Aller on. So a double attacking substitution for Dortmund, who have 10 minutes plus the added time to conjure up an equaliser to keep themselves within a chance of maybe, just maybe, having the black and yellow ribbons on the Champions League trophy when the night's out. Sancho. Back to Schlotterbeck. Under pressure in the midfield as Camavinga wins it back. Good challenge. Now finds Kroos. Here's Bellingham. Back to Camavinga. And a fantastic save by Gregor Kobel. Strong left hand. Saw it over the bar. That's some strike by Camavinga. Curling it. And it just looked to be dipping under the crossbar. But that's a fantastic save by Gregor Kobel to deny Camavinga that one. Not too far away. Annette says £1,000 on Dortmund. Wow. Confident. Considering they're losing. It's not over yet though. Another corner for Real Madrid. Toni Kroos over it again. Who else? Whips another cross in. Flicked on again. And what a save by Kobel. That is some save. Nacho this time that got the header. And almost identical to the first goal. Gregor Kobel denying an almost identical one for Real Madrid this time round. What a save. Gregor Kobel's made a number of great saves in the last few minutes that is keeping Borussia Dortmund in this. Could those big saves count as massive, massive moments for Real Madrid? Or for Borussia Dortmund even. Oh, awful pass by Madsen. Gives it away. Bellingham now finds Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid. Kobel's made some huge saves, but Vinicius Jr., as he did in the 2022 final, scores in a Champions League final. And Real Madrid, it's certain now, a 15th Champions League title is heading to Madrid. An awful, awful pass by Ian Madsen, latched upon by Bellingham, and Vinicius Jr. did the rest. Incredible. He's been Madrid's most threatening player all night, has Vinny Jr. And he's just topped it off with an absolute cracker of a finish. Awful defending by Dortmund. And miles of space for Vinny Jr. And he sneaks it past Gregor Kobel inside of the left-hand side. And Kobel couldn't reach it. Goes across goal. It bounces up. And the keeper does get a hand to it, Gregor Kobel, but just not enough. The power behind it denied the keeper a chance to keep it out of the net. And Real Madrid is, as ever, they maybe haven't been at their best tonight, but the best deliver and win even when they're not on top form. That is Real Madrid. And they are on the verge of another Champions League victory. Dortmund 0, Real Madrid 2. And the Madridistas inside Wembley are bouncing even more than they were before. A late flurry from Real Madrid in the final 15 minutes of this Champions League final seemingly is delivering a 15th for Los Blancos. And they're going to make changes incoming now. Jude Bellingham is coming off. And he's applauding the crowd. He will lift this trophy for the very first time tonight. Jude Bellingham at one stage. He's going to be replaced by Joselu, who scored 2 goals in the Champions League semi-final late on. And Luka Modric, who's won it 5 times before. He will join Dani Carvajal for 6 times when he does it tonight. And he will replace Toni Kroos, who, after 307 appearances in Real Madrid's shirt, curtails his career, club career, with another Champions League triumph. He will duly be missed by those Real Madrid fans, and the Real Madrid team will miss him. Toni Kroos, an absolute stalwart in midfield, walks his last walk for club football. As Luka Modric comes on in his place, another veteran for Real Madrid. And there will be parties in Madrid and all over London tonight, because Los Blancos are on the verge of doing it again. They always seem to find a way, no matter how, no matter what, no matter who. They always seem to find a way. The epitome of the best in Europe, the best in the world, are those who, when they're not at their best, can still see out victory and still win in the biggest and most high-pressured moments. That is the sign of champions. And Real Madrid are that in abundance. This will be Real Madrid's 5th Champions League win since 2016. 8 years, and they've won 5 of those Champions League titles. Wonderful. Although, there might be a late one here. They've got a goal. But the flag's gone up, actually, against Borussia Dortmund. A real shock there, but the flag's gone up. VAR will obviously check it. But that is crazy. Where's that come from? See this? It's Daniel Malin. And Fulkrug is well offside there. There'll be no doubt about that. It won't be a goal. VAR will ensure that that's the case. Just as we're waxing lyrical about Real Madrid, Dortmund decided to give us a bit of a shock, but the goal will not count. The Nicholas Fulkrug, who headed it into the net, was offside, so no goal. Still 2-0 to Real Madrid. We've seen Real Madrid score later on in finals. Not only finals, but in any Champions League game. They love a late bit of drama, Real Madrid, but it might be Dortmund that need the late drama to give them one of the best comebacks ever in Champions League history. Especially with it being so late. 2 minutes of normal 90 to go. Plus additional time. And maybe, despite that goal, it wasn't a goal, might just give Dortmund maybe a bit of hope later on that they can nick one and maybe nick another. It's a bit optimistic, but you never know. Although Dani Carvajal doesn't want to test that theory. He's put it out for a throw in there. Well, Vinicius Jr. with that goal becomes only the 8th player in Champions League history to find the net in more than one Champions League final. Only 7 other players have found the net in more than one Champions League final, and Vinicius Jr. is the 8th to join that illustrious list of clinical finishers in Champions League finals. Wow. It was an interesting stat that I picked up upon beforehand. It's not going to matter now because it's not going to happen, unlikely, that Borussia Dortmund will win. But the last 3 Wembley finals in the European Cup have all ended with winners, beginning with B, Bayern Munich, and then Barcelona the last 2 times before that. And Borussia Dortmund, of course, that other team. But they are not going to lift it tonight, it seems. Madridistas still waving their flags, waving their scarves in the air in delight. Another change incoming here for Madrid. Rodrigo coming off and Eder Militao is coming on. So an extra defender just to see them out as the 90 minutes have been surpassed. And it's just added time that separates Real Madrid from a 15th Champions League trophy. A record extending 15th. We yet to find out how long will be added on, though. So there might be a bit of time to come yet, though. No hurry there, it seems. Camavinga, 5 added minutes. 5 more, 4.5 even, before Real Madrid are crowned once again. The crown that they own at this stage. A crown that they love getting every single time. They do it more than anyone else. They do it better than anyone else. They are better than anyone else in this competition. They have a magic aroma. Although, Dortmund in the box again. Not giving up yet, though. Royce keeps it alive. Ball into the box it comes, and Carvajal with a composure heads it back to his keeper, Thibaut Courtois, who will take as much time as possible and as much time needed. This would be the 9th successive victory in Champions League finals for Real Madrid. The last time they lost, obviously, as I mentioned, in 1981 when Liverpool beat them. They've won all of their last 9. 98, 1-0 against Juventus. 2000, 3-0 against Valencia. 2002, 2-1 against Leverkusen. 2014, 4-1 against Atletico after extra time. 2016, 1-1 against Atletico, 5-3 on penalties. 2017, 4-1 against Juventus. 2018, 3-1 against Liverpool. And 2022, 1-0 against Liverpool. 2024 is to be added to that list when they win 2-0 against Borussia Dortmund, it seems. But still added time to come. 3 of those minutes to go. And surely victory is almost certain. Although here comes Luka Modric to try and carry Madrid forward again. Vinicius Jr. down the left. He's got Joslu in the middle. Jr. looking to find Modric. Closed down, and Dortmund block it to carry it away as they fire it up the pitch. Hit and hope now for Dortmund. Daniel Malen. They need 2 goals in added time. Only ever feat that's done ever in that Champions League. 1999 when Man United got 2 goals in added time with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That was to win the final against Bayern Munich. They need 2 goals, Dortmund, to level the game, and they've less than 2 minutes to find them. And it looks very unlikely as Vinicius Jr. walks off. He's the last substitute for Real Madrid. The second goal scorer of the night. Only the 8th player in Champions League history to score in more than one Champions League final. And he adds his name to that illustrious list of quality players. Vinicius Jr. being the best player for Real Madrid tonight. And deservedly on the score sheet. As Dortmund whip another ball in. They haven't given up yet, and credit to them. playing for pride now, surely. There's a foul there. Mendy giving away the free kick, so Dortmund get that free kick then. What a remarkable job. I have to say it before we celebrate Real Madrid. What a remarkable job that Edin Terzic has done with Borussia Dortmund this season. Not the best in league form or league outcomes, finishing 5th. They'll be in the Champions League next season. But to get them into a final is remarkable. To get them this far. Here's Marco Reus to take this free kick for Dortmund. Seconds remain. Right-footed delivery into the box it comes, and the header that carries it behind for the corner off Eder Militao. Corner to Dortmund. Not good faces to look at there, Dortmund. Pain written all over the faces of those Dortmund fans. Corner whipped in, right-footed. In it comes, Courtois got the strong right hand to it. It's up to the referee now. The 5 minutes are duly up. Dortmund still on the attack as Maatsen whips it in, but caught by Courtois. That should be it. Should be us. Just awaiting the whistle from the referee, Slavko Vincic. Having a chat with Edin Terzic at the moment is Carlo Ancelotti. And that's it! Real Madrid are European champions for the 15th time. Record-breaking, record-extending Real Madrid are imperious in the Champions League. And Los Blancos are victorious once again. Real Madrid add another to their tally. Carlo Ancelotti adds another to his tally. Record breakers in Dani Carvajal and Luka Modric join Paco Gento as the only players in European Cup and Champions League history to win the competition an incredible 6 times. Absolutely wonderful. A glorious night for Jude Bellingham to win his first under Real Madrid. In his first season, he's done a league and Champions League double. What a first season. Toni Kroos buys out with another Champions League. What a performance. It wasn't that their best tonight, Real Madrid, but the best of the best, when they're not at their best, deliver and win. Champions, once again, Real Madrid. 15. Number 15 is heading back to Madrid. The Madridistas have had a fantastic season once again. Another league title and another Champions League in the cabinet that's surely bursting to the seams and at the seams now as they jump into those supporters. And I love this moment. Sink it in, because Real Madrid are the champions of Europe once again. European royalty. Real Madrid are by far, undoubtedly the best European club that has ever graced a football pitch. This is iconic. And what a venue for Real Madrid to win it. At Wembley. An iconic stadium for an iconic football team to win an iconic trophy for a 15th time. Jude Bellingham, emotional, as expected, as predicted. What a night for them. They will party long into the night. Real Madrid are your European champions for 2024. Incredible. Wow. What a game. What an outcome. And your local trash snatcher in the chat says Real Madrid ended their with a 1-0 streak. They did indeed. 4 successive Champions League finals with a winner as won by 1-0. Real Madrid beaten that tonight by winning by 2-0. The first, a header by Dani Carvajal from a corner. Delivered by Toni Kroos. And Vinicius Jr. with a second. A poor back pass by Ian Maatsen for Dortmund. Bellingham picked up upon it. Played it to Vinny Jr. And Vinicius Jr. done the rest and really solidified the victory for Real Madrid. They were pushing in the later stages, and they've done it so many times before. They do enough to get through. They weren't the best on the night, but they are the winners on the night, and that's all that matters. They're the champions once again. And so much pride in the from the Madridistas for their fans, or for their players and their club. As Jude Bellingham and Denise and Mark Bellingham watch on, the family of Jude, watching their son and brother lift this trophy for the very first time. A family affair for the Bellinghams. And a dream rise for one of their sons, Denise and Mark. I'm sure they're massively proud of Jude, as Real Madrid have their name carved into the trophy for the 15th time. They have some sort of energy and aroma and feeling within this competition that they just are inevitable, unstoppable, unbelievable, imperious. But credit goes to Dortmund tonight. They're the losers on the night, but they're by far not losers on the pitch. They delivered their performance tonight when no one had any hope of them getting anywhere tonight. They held in there for long periods of time. They were the better side for long periods, but when the big moments come, when the high-pressured moments come, and when you need to deliver, their clinical edge wasn't there tonight, Dortmund, and Real Madrid's was. And that's the difference in a Champions League final. You have to find your clinical edge. You have to finish the chances that you get, and you have to do it with pure quality. Tonight is Real Madrid's night, as it so many times has been in the Champions League. One final time, thank you very much for joining us here in LFS. It's been a great club season. We appreciate each and every single person who's joined us this season. What a wonderful campaign, ending in a wonderful way with Real Madrid winning the Champions League again. They are a winner of the Champions League for the 15th time, and we appreciate each and every one of you who have joined us. Jude Bellingham talking. Always dreamed of playing in these games. You go through life with so many people saying you can't do things, and this reminds you of getting through the hard times and how it's worth it. And tonight makes you realise he was alright until he saw his mum and dad's face. And he's appreciating his parents at the moment, Jude Bellingham, in his interview. What a moment for him. What a moment. I had to break off my bit of a speech there. We have to get Jude Bellingham involved. Incredible moment for Jude Bellingham. Even though they've won the league and the Champions League, he still talks about them losing the Copa del Rey. That's the mentality of a player like that. That's the mentality of a winner. He's won a league, a continental double, a league and the Champions League, and he's still talking about how he's lost one of those games, one of those competitions. That is a champion's mentality. Wonderful. What a night in Wembley. An iconic stadium, witness once again to an iconic Champions League showpiece. And one of the most iconic sides in European history, Real Madrid, champions again. Great to have you with us this season. Thank you so much for joining us. And we've had a great season. And on behalf of everyone at LFS, thank you so much. It's been another great season. And Real Madrid are champions of Europe once again.